grips with the car very quickly. Pace car on the infield. Heat 1, green flag in the air. Marshall to lead them through. Peter Drew on his outside. He will push him all the way. Aylett on the second row. Pretty raggedy start. One spinning out already. Tasmania's Peter Aylett as the orange light comes on. Small foam block, you'll note, rolling down the track. It comes out of the inside of the outside rear, just keeps the mud from building up in it. Come out of car 7. Okay, orange lights out. Let's see how we go this time. Track a little still on the slick side. Gabby Marshall brings him around. Drew on his outside. Better start that time. Ron Pine looking for a way through. Bit of pushing and shoving through turn 2. Peter Drew coming out the worst of that. Gets pushed back pretty well the full length of the field. Meanwhile, Marshall setting off in his merry way out in the lead. Then we go back to Dave Gartner. 10 car filling in third spot. Tasmania 10, Kimball Aylett. Pack starting to get themselves sorted out. Peter Drew trying to make up some of that lost ground. Peter Logue just quietly working his way through the field. Started off the rear. Marshall got the car set up quite soft there. Trailing the inside left. Getting plenty of weight down over on the outside rear. Gardner not letting him get too far away. Still 8 laps on the board. 10 car of Kimball Aylett now right under pressure by Ron Pine. Ron Pine probably one of the dark horses here for the weekend. Sitting in 4th now, right over the back of Aylett. Then we go back to Bert Vosbergen from Western Australia. Into the 88 car of Sutton Craig. 82 totaled in there. 82 car of Kingsley Jones. Peter Logue coming up on Jones now. Drew also working hard down the back of the pack. Car in a little bit of strife there, gets himself sorted out, has cost him a position. So at the moment we've got Marshall from Gartner, then we go to Ron Pine, then to Bert Vosbergen. Peter Logue now up into 4th, 5th spot. Filled his way through the pack. Then we go back to Aylett. Then Jones, Kingsley Jones, coming up now onto the back of Aylett. Also going with him is Drew. Aylett is going to hold the pack up slightly here. Drew pushes his way through. Marshall now right in the pack, but I tell you what, Gartner's made the most of this move right up onto the back of Marshall. White flag about to go out. 1 lap to go now. Interesting here. Marshall stuck out in traffic there. Still holding on to the lead. Gartner looking for a way through also. Looks as though he'll have to be content to sit in there in second. Just coming up and passing Craig Vosbergen into lap traffic. Checkered flag goes out for Heat 1. Heat 1 win to Gabby Marshall from Queensland. Second place will go to Dave Gartner. Then we go back to Ron Pine in the 7 car for 3rd. Just wait for the official placings between 4th and 5th. So it could have been car 4 Bert Vosbergen in 4th from Peter Logue in 5th. Title about to get underway. Pace car goes to the infield. Greg Wilkins off pole. Gary Bryans on his outside. Wayne Randall, Sean Kelly, row 2. Tony Bartlemore, Michael Biskorski in row 3. White Lane goes down. Good start there to Bryans. Gets away quite nicely from the back row there also. Barklemore gets through up into second. Also 21 doing well there is Girdlestone. Smoke billowing from the back of the 85 car there. Perhaps only a tyre problem. It might look a bit more than a tyre problem, I would suggest. Meanwhile, 26 still out in front from Victoria Bryans. Trying hard to run him down. 23 McHugh. McHugh working hard now on Bryans. And we go back to 33 of Barklemore. I'll tell you what, the 85 car still performing, but putting out quite a lot of smoke there. Action still up the front with 8 laps to go. 26 car, Gary Bryans, still under a lot of pressure there from McHugh. McHugh comes at him down the back straight into turn 3, thinks about putting the nose in. Barklemore sticking right with him. Also coming up there is the 21 car of Girdlestone from Queensland. Second run out in this car, brand new car. It's come through again, these front few tightening right up now. Still McHugh. McHugh gets a bit of a break there. Looks as though 26 car of Bryans might have got balked slightly. Barklemore still can't get past him. Girdlestone working hard. Then McEachran back there in about 6th or 7th spot. Just not been able to do too much at this stage. Three laps left on the board. McHugh gets a little bit of a buffer now. Back to Bryans. Bryans under all sorts of pressure now from Barklemore. Also sitting there is Girdlestone. Girdlestone, Wayne Randall also in there, now making a late run. Steve Vaughan looking for a way through. Can't seem to do too much. Gorski well back down the field in the 17 car. 2 on the infield spinning out. That's Gavin McEachran and the 76 car. So checkered flag goes out. Wing going to the 23 of Jamie McHugh. Following over would be just managing to hold on to a second was Gary Bryans. We go back to 33, Tony Barklemore. Then Nick Girdlestone. And Steve Vaughan. Heat 3 about to get underway. Higgs to lead them away. Bill Miller to keep him honest, alongside out of 2. 15 car of Flay there out of 3. Get away pretty evenly, a good clean start. Let's see if they all get through turn 1 and 2. A little bit of paint mixing, they're not too bad. Miller pushes hard into turn 3. Leading Higgs through for the first time. Higgs working hard, not letting him get too far away. Flay up in second. Then we go to the 74 car of Murphy. Smurf Murphy certainly knows the way around here. Puts his nose up alongside Flay down the back straight. Then we go back to the 47 car of Stewart. Stewart, of course, running here in the Tri-City. Then Cottrell. Miller and Higgs fighting it out pretty well. Haven't got so much as a car length between them since they started this race. Pretty well side by side. I tell you what, Higgs not giving an inch on Miller, trying everything to get in. Waiting for Miller to make a mistake, but he's certainly not going to make it. Got a good mid-line there. Then we go back to Murphy, right in alongside the 15 car of Brian Flay, all the way from the Northern Territory. 84 car of Graham Nugent, a little bit of strife down on the back of the field, about to get a lap put on him. Miller still managing to hold out Higgs, but only just, not a car length in this two. Similar for the battle for third and fourth. Murphy now moving up into third position, relegating Frey back to fourth. Then we go back to Steve Stewart, Kim Cottrell. 42 car of Graham Cowland, a little bit out, got away from the pack. A little bit of hunt and shunt as Murphy trying to get through on Nugent. Doesn't lose his position, did lose quite a bit of ground in the meantime. 5 laps left on the board now. Miller and Higgs, 1-2. Having a great race out in front. Then we go well back down to the Smurf. Murphy in the 74 car in third, then Play. Then the 74 car of Stewart, then Kim Cottrell. Well back to Graham Cowland. Once again now we've got our front 2 runners, Higgs and Miller, starting to get into the lap traffic once again. Higgs does not get a very good run through there at all. This has let Miller get a good 30-odd metre break. Higgs starting to try and come back at him. White flag goes out in the meantime. Murphy also making his way through that slower traffic. Then we go back to Play, Steve Stewart and Kim Cottrell. As they come through now, checkered flag goes out to the 77 car of Bill Miller, taking out heat 3. Flying over will be the 81 car from Western Australia of Gary Hicks. Followed over by 74 car of Murphy. Then we go back to Flay in the 15 from Steve Stewart and Kim Cottrell. And the pace right on there. Race record time 2:58.11, bringing it down from a 2:58.78. So already heat 3, they are right into the times. Stu, if that's any indication, I think. Coming around the green flag, Steve Reddycliffe, Ken Pearce off the front row. Pedals to the metal. Good start there from Stephen Dale off the second row, round the outside. That unique roar of the V6 in amongst the V8s, out in front. Then go back to Steve Reddycliffe, battling it out is Ken Pearce in the little rotary. 61 of Des Corn, working his way nicely up through the field, starting well down towards the back, already up into third. Then we go back to Tony Grinstead, and spinning as I say that. Takes talent to spin in the middle of a field like that and not put any dents in anything. Okay, Dale to lead them through this time. Reddycliffe tucked in behind, and then we go back to Pearce. Pearce quickly shoots down onto the infield, with Dale on his merry way out in front. The 78 car of Grinstead looking for a way around the outside of Reddycliffe. Gets through in turn 3, moves up into second. Reddycliffe now relegated back to third. Starting to make his way up through is Alan Baker. Baker now right on the back of Reddycliffe, slips down to try and run up the inside down the back straight to take over third. Can't do so. Spinning down there, Ken Pearce in the little rotary. Everyone does a little bit of a dance around him to avoid, which they do. This will bring on the orange light. Off now, so they'll come around for a restart. Stephen Dale bring the round very slowly. Confident of the way his car gets off the line. Nice and cleanly, brings him around this car, the pace that suits his car. Stomps on the gas, back to work once again. Dale gets a little bit out of shape through turn 1-2. Grinstead tries to make the most of it. Baker has Stewart picked it there on the restart, now up into third after passing Reddycliffe. Darren Kane working hard there on the back of Reddycliffe now. Stephen Dale got a mid to high line now. Grinstead tucked right in behind the little V6. Baker sitting back there in third. Then we go back to Redcliffe. And Kane swaps lines down onto the pole line now, trying to find a way through Redcliffe as they come across the line now with 4 to go. Weaver also up there in that midfield action. Stephen Dale still managing to hold off Grinstead. V6 up against V8. Baker now right under pressure from Kane. Kane slipping up into second now. Baker relegated back to 4th on the back straight. Weaver still there in 5th. Then back to Redcliffe. Coming through now to get the white flag. Stephen Dale now, 1 lap just to go, hold out Grinstead for maximum points in heat 3. Down the back straight now. Turns it through turn 4, checkered flag in the air. Car 32 taking out heat 3, Stephen Dale. 78, Tony Grinstead taking 2nd points. Darren Kane finishing in 3rd from Baker.
Well, Stephen Dale, welcome to Mount Gambier, to the Borderline Speedway, here to contest the 1998-99 Australian Super Sedan title. And when we talk Super Sedans, we usually expect to see big Chevs and Falcons, a few different cars like that. And then you turn up with a Nissan. Now, tell me, this is a little bit different. You tell me that it's a one-of-a-kind car.
Yes, that's correct. It's the only V6 running in Australia at this stage that I know of. We've campaigned this car now for, this is its 3rd season. It's been very difficult in the development of the car, but we have a new crew chief this year that's in Paul Zemenick from Mud and Guts Enterprising, and he's really made the car start performing now. So we're quite pleased with it, and by the end of the night I think we might turn a few heads, and that's what we're here for.
Well, I think you were definitely turning a few heads at practice last night, in fact, and looked like you were having a little bit of problem. The car being very, very light, you were having trouble just keeping it on the track.
Yes, that's correct. We did lift a couple of wheels there once or twice. We made a couple of changes with the car towards the later practice sessions, which didn't go in our favour. So we've put it back, and we're going to just hope that running on 3 or 2 wheels will be fast enough at the end of the night. So it could be quite thrilling, I think.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's going to be very interesting. I've noticed that a lot of drivers have come up and had a very good look at this car. I think that you're a little bit of a threat there for the title, Steve. But who would you consider to be your biggest adversary out there?
Well, I'd say there's probably about 10 people that can win here on the night. It's really not necessarily the fastest or the best looking car. It's really the one that's either got his St. Christopher on, or has got the luck on the night, or manages to keep out of trouble. The cards fall for you, you can win, and that might be all you do for the rest of the year. So it's a hard one, but there's a good 10 maybe 15 drivers here that you couldn't put any money on either one of them, you know, individually to win. It's a very hard. National titles is about the 6th one I've been to, and it's very, very hard to pick a winner at the beginning of the night.
Well, good luck for the weekend. I hope you enjoy it all.
Thank you very much.
See how we go this time. Lionel West will get the green flag, lead heat 5 away. Tony Rinstein on his outside. Nicola already looking for a way through, up into 3rd. Back to Roberts in 4th. Then John Rodder. Orange light comes on. Put rear of field for jumping the start. 54, Lucas Roberts will lead them this time. Green flag goes down. Good start, better start from Reinstein. Nicola looking for a way around the outside, rides a wheel, very lucky not to get into the fence, costing dearly in possessions. So as they come through the first time, we have Terry Ronstein from Roberts, then the 46 car of John Rodder, Moving up now into fourth, about to be overtaken, is Noel Reinstein. Nicola on fire. Around the outside there, right on the tail of Rodder now. Making up for that lost time, already up into fourth spot. Noel Reinstein backing behind him in the Corvette. Then we go back to 27, tucked in beyond Andrew Keane. Nicola now comes up along the 54 car of Roberts, moves up into second. Roberts shunted out, almost gets passed by 46 John Rodder. Regains his composure now, managing to hold on to third. Nicola now out after our race leader, the 75 car, Terry Reinstein. Moves up on the inside now, looks as though he's going to make pretty easy work of it. 7 laps left on the board, got plenty of time. Nicola, the defending champion. Knows he's got the time, picks a good spot to get past. Big battle going on back for the minor places. Still Roberts from Rodder. Noel Reinstein tucked right in there, looking for a way through. Also trying for a good run. Also John Brown in the 66 car. Nicola now just sitting back there behind Terry Reinstein. 4 laps left on the board. Reinstein covering himself quite well. We're down the back straight. Nicola now up the inside, tucks it in hard. Reinstein trying to come back. Nicola gets past nicely. Terry Reinstein relegated back to second, holding out for third. There's a battle now between the Roberts. Then we go back to Rodder. John Brown working well up through the field in the 66 car. Then we go back to Noel Reinstein. Andrew Keane. Only a couple laps to go now. Nicola breaks right away now. Some 30 or 40 metres break. We'll do it easy. 1 lap left to go now on the board. Terry Reinstein, a lonely second position. Battle going on for the minor places. Each position gaining points. Nicola going through now, defending champion, winning his first heat for the evening, heat 5. Coming across in second, Terry Reinstein. Third, I think, going to John Brown from Roberts and John Rodder. And in a hurry, Stuart?
Certainly was, Paul. Have a look at the time clock up there, ladies and gentlemen. 2 minutes 55.82. He's just smashed that record by 3 seconds. The thing I can't believe, he went back to third last there when he had that altercation down there in turn 1-2, so he was back to 7th. He's come back out, taken out that heat win round, or heat 5 for his first round of heats. So that's certainly a great drive by Mick Nicola.
Certainly was, and also perhaps Cottrell and Vaughan off the front row. Roberts and Bogorski off row 2. Cottrell leads him away fairly quickly. Just managed to hold out, but by geez, Steve Vaughan works him hard down the back straight. Steve Vaughan will lead them down the back straight. Then back to Cottrell, Bogorski. 54 car of Roberts in 4th position. Then to Neville Harper. Harper now getting the pressure applied by Kevin Purton. 84 car relegated back down. That's Nugent, not having a good run at all tonight. Steve Vaughan clearing away now. Comes through to complete another lap. 10 more to go. Cottrell in second, then back to Nugent. Bogorski in the immaculate 17 car from Tasmania. Then to Lucas Roberts. Neville Harper now. Then we'll go back to Kevin Purton. Purton right on Harper. Leader now, Steve Vaughan. laps left on the board. 81, sorry, out in front. I'm getting mixed up here. That's Higgs in the Firebird. Drawing right away. Makes up more ground as the race goes on. Cottrell having no answer for him. Cottrell's got his own battle going on with Bogorski. Bogorski's certainly done some homework on the car in between his heats. Sitting there in third now, but Lucas Roberts coming right up onto the tail of him. Followed through by Harper and the 25 car of Kevin Burton. Gary Hicks now, almost well over the length of the back straight, lead on the rest of the field. Gets the car set up very nicely as he goes across the line with some 3 laps to go. Still back to Kim Cottrell from South Australia, to Bogorski, Tasmanian entry. Lucas Roberts in 4 from Harper. Then to Kevin Burton. Right down the back of the field is Nugent. Higgs, I think, with a second place in his first round of heats. Looking for the checkered flag this time. Cottrell still sitting in second, having no hope at all of catching our leader by a mishap as our leader goes through to get the white flag. 1 lap to go. Cottrell now sitting in second, as I mentioned. All he's got to do is the checkered flag goes out. So the race win. Yes, mate. Okay. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, look at the race time for 12 laps. Down once again, so we're down to about some 6 odd seconds off the before tonight's race record. So right on the pace there was Hicks. We're going to try and pull him in for an interview if we can. Stewie's down on the infield.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Just as we'll get Gary just to cut the motor. And that was a great drive by Gary Dusty Hicks from Western Australia. Gary, just to let you know, you've just knocked off 3 seconds off the track record here tonight. You have to be happy with the way the car's going.
Yeah, the car's, she's totally awesome. She likes this track. And yeah, we're very happy. She's handling beautiful.
And the track's in great condition at the moment.
The track's really good. You've got to go up the top a bit and chase it, but I don't mind getting up there.
Well, wish you all the best in the next heat, and hopefully we'll see you out here tomorrow night and you're contending for the Australian title. Thank you very much.
Peter Lowe, Jamie McHugh out of 2, Brown out of 3, Wilkins out of 4, McCall of 5, Drew out of 6. Medals to the medal. Lowe gives McHugh a little bit of a nudge for his trouble through turn 2. 66 car starting well there of John Brown. We're up there vying as we've got Drew spinning out in car 8. This will bring on the orange light. Restart required. Peter Drew not having the best of nights. Spinning down there in turn 4. Green flag in the air. Heat 2, round 2 about to get underway this time after the restart. Logue and McHugh side by side through turn 1, but Peter Logue gets the better down the back straight now. McHugh relegated back to second. Then we go to John Brown in car 66, then to Dave Gardner, Peter Drew, Murphy, McAuliffe, Vosbergen, 42 of Cowland down the tail end of the field. Peter Logue now completes the first lap, settling down to a very nice line. McHugh still sitting in second, then back to Brown. Dave Gardner in 4th. Peter Drew recovering after that spin, causing the restart. Tucked in behind him, Smurf Murphy. Mick Nicola now trying to find a way through a Murphy. Can't do so. Pretty well a blanket of cars in front of him. Logue leads them down the back straight now. About to come through with 7 to go. Vosberg in a little bit of trouble over in turn 2, recovers. Logue, McHugh, Brown, Dave Gartner still holding on to 4th, then go back to Peter Drew, Murphy and Nicola. Nicola in all sorts of bother trying to get through some of this midfield traffic. Pushing hard on the back of Murphy. Murphy doing likewise to Drew. Dave Gartner now, car set up fairly loose. Sitting in 4th position. Having a torrid time trying to hold it on line. Peter Logue now about to come up and put a lap on Callan. 4 laps on the board. McHugh now getting the pressure put right on by Brown. McHugh slips up just a little bit over the push through turn 4. Brown made up a little bit of ground on him. Logue puts a lap on Callan. McHugh still holding on to 2nd, then back to Brown. Dave Gardner still holding on 4th, then we go back to Drew as the white flag goes out. Murphy and Nicole are still having that battle down for the minor points. Checkered flag about to come out now for Peter Logue. Takes white flag, sorry, 1 lap left to go. Vosbergen gets a lap put on him on the final lap by Logue. Logue, McHugh, Brown right on McHugh's tail with a checkered flag to Logue. 2nd place will go to the 23 car of Jamie McHugh. Great race there, just managing to hold out Brown. Then we go back to David Gartner picking up 4th place points from Peter Drew, Murphy and Nicola. Just cross, see if we can get a quick talk to Peter Drew on the infield. Crossing over to you, Stu.
Got Peter Logue down here, Peter. You've just broken 5 seconds off the lap record out here tonight, off the 12 lap record. You're here to do business this weekend.
Yeah, the car felt real good then. We got a little bit loose in the end, but we just held it together long enough to finish.
Well, let's go, and you are here to do business this weekend, and we wish you all the best.
Interviewing Peter Logue. Peter, it's the beginning of the 98-99 Super Sedan titles. Car looking pretty good at practice last night. How's the track feeling?
Look, this is the best the track's ever been in about 5 years, so we're really expecting things to go really good this weekend.
Well, that's a good confidence start. If you're happy with the track, that's a really good thing to achieve. Obviously, there's a lot of talented drivers down here this weekend. Who would you consider to be your greatest rivals?
Well, of course, our number one now, Mick Nicola, he's got to be the man to beat. There's Jamie McHugh going fast last night, and there's quite a few others that's capable of winning this race.
Now, there's quite a few past champions here this weekend as well. That's got to make life just a little bit interesting out there.
They tell me there's about 6 of them.
And you being one of them, of course?
Yeah, we have been. The year before last, we won it.
Well, hopefully the car will be running nice and well for you, but a lot of luck required out there. Most of the heats looking like they're going to be pretty tight.
You can do whatever you like in the heat races and come to getting towards the end of the feature, but if you haven't got a little bit of lady luck on your side, you're not going to win.
So what's going to be your plan of attack here for tonight? Just go out and go hard?
Just go flat out all weekend.
Well, good luck, and I hope it works out for you.
Thank you very much.
We have Craig Vosbergen to lead them away. There's Colin on his outside. Terry Rickstein up into 3rd now. Oh, Edward got a carry. Well, ladies and gentlemen, holy stacking cars, Batman.
I really didn't think he was going to end up going over, Paul. I thought he was just going to sit there, and then he said, no, what the hell, we'll just roll it over.
Craig Vosbergen, very unfortunate there. Des Corn just got in underneath the back of Vosbergen and carried him. And you can see the result of all that.
Upside down, Miss Jane.
That's about the one. Des Corn not having a very good night at all. Of course, blew a tyre in his first heat after spinning. I would suggest there wouldn't be a lot of damage done to the car. Grinstead in the 78, also on the infield. 41, Lionel West. Sorry? Your track at the moment. A depleted field as they come around. 12 laps back on the board, 75. Tony Rickstein will lead them from the 11 car of Steve Reddycliffe. Reddycliffe works around the outside. Also going there is John Rodder in the 46. Rodder working hard around the outside. 34 also pushing hard, Paul Tyndall. Tyndall sitting there in 4th position. Steve Reddycliffe now leads them through for another lap in the Camaro. John Rodder trying to go up the inside through turn 2. Then we go back to Rickstein. Rickstein then to Tyndall. Then Keane. Rodder now up the inside of Reddycliffe. Takes over the lead now. Track conditions starting to change somewhat, starting to get fairly hooky by the look of it out there. Reddycliffe still in second. Rickstein starting to put the pressure on. Also right up there in the running there, right up on these leaders is Tyndall in the green 34 car. Keane still back down the tail of the field. Rodder now breaking away from the field somewhat. Reddycliffe and Rickstein battling it out for the minor places, 2nd and 3rd. Paul Tyndall starting to get the feel of the track, comes up right on the back of Rickstein. Rodder still fairly comfortable out in front. Rodder in the 98 Falcon. Reddycliffe in the Camaro still in second. Rickstein and all sorts of bother there in the 75 car. Got Tyndall working overtime down behind him. Now also coming up and wanting to get into it is Keane. Keane starting to get the feel of the track. Rodder now down the back straight, some 2.5 laps to go. Reddycliffe still holding on to second. And we go back to Rickstein, Tyndall and Keane. I tell you what, for 2nd and 3rd place it could be anybody's. They're pretty well packed right together. Rodder looking comfortable, gets the white flag with 1 lap to go. The battle on for young and old for the other places though. Reddycliffe now just holding on to second. Rickstein up underneath him, all bit up and down the back. They touch and battles are plenty down the back straight once again. Rickstein and Reddycliffe coming together there. Tyndall with nowhere to go. Likewise to the 27 car of Andrew Keane. Paul Tyndall's car there on the infield. There's substantial front end damage.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Heat, car 5. Robert Burke leads them through for the first time. Quickly overhauled by Ron Pine. Bill Miller sitting up there also. 26 car of Gary Bryans working hard. Also the 76 of Wayne Randall. Miller getting overtaken, now relegated back to 5th spot. Ron Pine, one of the quiet favourites perhaps here tonight, out in the lead. Then to the 5 car of Burke, started off pole, but battling it now for second. Oh, touch and go down there for the mighty ones. 36 and all sorts of bother there down the back straight. 26, sorry, that's Gary Bryans. Miller takes the advantage, moves up another position. Ron Pine sits right up on the cush there. Perhaps looking for a little bit of loose material. Burke still in second. 76 car. Wayne Randall in third position. Miller in fourth. Gavin McEachran in their midfield in fifth after passing 26 car Bryans. Then go back to Steve Stewart. Debbie Reddycliffe also there, but down the tail end of the field now. Hines, I'll tell you what, he has got the car set up spot on out there at the moment, handling like a dream. 5 laps to go now. 5 car of Robert Burke gets a little bit out of shape there, coming out of turn 4. Lets the 76 car get up past him there. Wayne Randall now moves up into second. Gary Bryans in all sorts of bother once again out of 2. Hasn't got the car handling well at all. Action up in front now. Gavin McEachran getting plenty of power on the ground now. Moves up past Burke. Comes up on Miller. Trying to find a way around. 3 laps left on the board. Ron Pine with an easy looking win at the moment. Heads down the back straight. Miller, McEachran fight it out. Miller and McEachran still side by side with just over 2 laps to go. The 76 car of Wayne Randall still holding on to second. McEachran right on Miller's tail down the back straight. Looks for a high line around Miller. Power down he goes. Slides out, doesn't do any good. White flag out in the air. Last lap for our leader now. Pine puts a lap on Debbie Reddycliffe. Checkered flag comes out now. Win to Ron Pine, maximum points. Second will go to the 76 car of Wayne Randall. Bill Miller in South Australia 77 will hold on to third from 79 car of also from South Australia, Gavin McEachran. Then we go back to Robert Burke, 26 car of Gary Bryans, Stewart, and the 9 car of Peter Aylett. Orange light out. See how we go this time. Front row, Darren Kane, Scott Weddle to lead them away. Heat 5, round 2 underway now. Good start from Stephen Dale, works his way pretty quickly up into 4th spot. Car 2, Marshall, also getting a good start now up into 3rd. Kane leading them through for the first time from the 57 car of Scott Weddle. Scott Weddle working overtime on the steering wheel. Not handling at all at the moment. Marshall making the most of it, trying to slide up on the inside, sets it down on the pole line. Still sitting in 3rd. Then we go back to the 82 car of Kingsley Jones in 4th. Then to Stephen Dale, Alan Baker, Ken Pearce, and I think it's the 15 car of the 18 car of Noel Rickstein. Back falling, having a fun fight down the back. Kane out in front at the moment. 57 runs out wide there. Scott Weddle lose a position. Marshall comes up into second now. Weddle tries to fight back. He's got the 82 car Kingsley Jones on his inside. Jones now moves up into 3rd. Weddle relegated back to 4. Dale 5. Baker back midfield in 6th position. Then we go to Noel Rickstein. Then Nick Girdlestone. 37 car of Weaver. Then we go to Flay, and right down the back end of the field, the little rotary is Ken Pearce, perhaps with some problems there, I think, with the way the Excess fuel's getting burnt up down the back straight in the little Mazda. About to be engulfed by Kane. Darren Kane now in the 56 car. Comes up through turn 3, puts a lap on Pierce. Marshall still sitting back there in second. 4 laps left on the board. Marshall still in third position, and we go back to the 82 car of Kingsley Jones. Jones holding out Whittle from Dale. Whittle in all sorts of bother down on the front straight. Up against the boards, looks as though he's got some mechanical problems, rolling around on the top. Done some damage in the back of the car, I would suggest. 2 laps left on the board. Orange light comes on as that car has stopped in turn 1. That was Whittle. I would suggest he may have done some rear end damage to that car coming out of turn 4. 97 Ford Thunderbird. Ian Marshall tucked in behind him in the VS Commodore from position 2. Restart now underway. Sprint to the finish. 82 car, Kingsley Jones still sitting in third. Oh, tussle left to right going for 4th and 5th spot. Checkered flag goes out. Win will go to maximum points for the heat going to Kane. Second will go to Marshall from Kingsley Jones. Then Nick Girdlestone, and then Stephen Dale. Just wait for those officials. So come around now, green flag in the air, Gavin McEachran off pole. Heat 1 in round 3, Australian Super Sedan title. All get away pretty well. Harper gets a good start there. McEachran comes back down the back straight. Harper and McEachran side by side. Cottrell in 3. Craig Vossenbergen sitting there in 4. Then the 41 car of Lionel West. McEachran. Guys have been working on the car. Gets it set up. Looks as though he's got it set up quite nicely. Pedal down running. Shane Wilson filled engine here in Mount Gambier. Pontiac car out of Tasmania for the start of the season. Second spot still being held on to by the 22 car of Neville Harper. Then we go back to Kim Cottrell. Craig Vosberger now gets overhauled by West. Oh, a bit of a bump there also coming through there. The 26 car getting trampled up in that also. Gary Bryans trying to get past on Vosbergen. Des Korn also mixed up in there. Debbie Reddycliffe not been able to keep up with these hard charges out in front. McEachran now, down on the back straight now. About half heat race distance. Hump and bumping going on still down between Vosbergen. Also taking up now, it might have been the West. Vosbergen perhaps having some handling problems with that car and has a flat outside rear. He will circulate on the infield chasing points. Meanwhile, McEachran now got the car set up very nicely down the back straight, about to put a lap on Debbie Reddycliffe. Got the car set up perhaps just nicely, a little bit on the loose side. Puts it up on the cush. Runs out of turn 2, about to come up onto the tail of Reddycliffe. Goes down, puts it on the pole line, moves through. Debbie does the right thing, leaves the gate open for him. Harper still managing to hold out Cottrell back there in second and third spot. Then we go back to the 26 car of Gary Bryans. Then Corn's car starting to hook up slightly through turn 2. Then we go back to Lionel West. Gavin now still out in the lead. Floats it nicely through turn 3, 4, gets a wide flag, 1 lap to go. All he's got to do now is hold it together, sits it nicely on the cush as he heads down the back straight. But the battle's still going on between Harper Cottrell and the 26 car of Bryans for the minor places. The checkered flag goes out. Maximum points to Mount Gambier's 79 car, sponsored by Trident Tyres, Gavin McEachran. Second will go to the 22 car, driven by Neville Harper. Third to Kim Cottrell. Finishing in fourth, Gary Bryans from Des Corn, Lionel West. Debbie Reddycliffe, and I think Craig Vosbergen would have picked up final places after unfortunately picking up a flat tyre, so he's not having a very good night at all. 51-year-old Big Bad Bert Vosbergen from Western Australia on pole position. Steve Stewart on his outside. Miller back there in the second row out of 4. Pushing and shoving through turn 1, turn 2. Girdlestone got a good start there, made up some good ground up in the second, right on the tail of Vosbergen now. Then we go back to Stewart, then Brown, Miller. Now Nick Nicola there. Nicola, yes, has a flat outside rear. Gets punted by the 15 car of 18 car, sorry, of Noel Rickstein. Yes, flat outside rear to Nick Nicola. I tell you what, his work's getting harder and harder to defend his number 1 status. Now just looking for Nicola. Looks as though he will take no part in this heat, so no points for Nicola in this heat. Vosbergen and Stewart to lead them away. Vosbergen runs up wide. Stewart goes with him. Another good start to Nick Girdlestone from Queensland. Bill Miller also going well, as is Brown in the 66 car. 15 car of Clay still circulating, as is Noel Rickstein. Bert Vosbergen looking for maximum points. Oh, gets hooked up slightly there, coming out of 4. This has let Stewart get his nose up in front. Vosbergen pushing and shoving, trying to get back. Girdlestone now, he makes the most of it. The situation also, his turn up in the lead now. Stewart relegated back to second. Vosbergen now up into third. Then we go back to, I think it's a 66 car of Brown. Then to Bill Miller in the 77. He's sitting there in 5th spot. Clay in 6th. Noel Rickstein in 7th. Vosbergen fighting pretty hard there with the car. Goes back another position now. Bill Miller just sticks his nose up past him, trying to get past into that 4th spot. Nick Girdlestone in the car, only 2 meetings old. Wine with the floral colours now, leads them through. Stewart and Brown fight it out for second. Brown up into second now. Some 6 laps left to go. Stewart relegated back into third. Then we go back to the 77 car, the Brer Athol Auto Parts car driven by Bill Miller. Bert Vosbergen tucked in behind him. Then we go back to Clay from the Northern Territory. Noel Rickstein after that incident sitting well back in the field. Lap being put on one of the slower cars here. Nick Girdlestone and Brown fight it out. Brown really starting to get the feel of the track now. Pushing Girdlestone right to the limit. Bit over 3 laps left to compete. Girdlestone gets a little hooked up coming out of turn 3. Brown not being able to take advantage of the situation. Still sitting there in second. Looks for a good run down the back straight into turn 3. Pushes in hard, going on the high line. Pushes it right up high in the cush. Takes over the lead. 2 laps left to go. Brown in the 66 car. Been looking good through the earlier heats. Hasn't been able to get up to top three, but now looking quite comfortable there in the G-Force car. 66 car relegating Nick Girdlestone back to second. Third's been held on to by the 47 car of Stewart, then back to Miller. Checkered flag about to come out now. Maximum points for this heat going to the 66 car, driven by Brown. John Brown taking maximum points. Nick Girdlestone finishing in second in the Boral Energy 21 car, the big Pontiac. Another interesting heat. Let's see how they go. Graham Callan off pole. Peter Logue looking for more points here. Good start to Baker. Ron Pine goes with him around the outside. Gets his door shut on him. So Peter Logue moves up into second. Pine fast around turn 3. Gets a good high line there. Moves up and consolidates his third spot. 42 car of Callan now, about to be overhauled by Marshall. Hicks also going with him. Lap down, Peter Logue now up into the lead. Alan Baker in car 3, right over the back of him. Logue gets a good run out of turn 2, bullets down the back straight, makes up good ground. I tell you what, the crew need to be commended for reading the track. Set the car up very nicely, Logue's getting the power to the ground quite well. Baker's still in second. Then we go back to Ron Pine. Ian Gabby Marshall sitting there in fourth. Then we go to, I think it's the Gary Hicks in the 81. Then to Callan, Peter Drew, and the 33 car tulling out the field, Tony Barklemore. 7 laps to go now. Peter Logue already has a one heat win, looking for those valuable points through the heats tonight for position to determine his position tomorrow night in the final of the ASCF Australian Super Sedan title. Alan Baker now with all sorts of trouble as he's got Ron Pine in the 7 car right over the back of him. Baker slides up momentarily. Pine makes up a little bit of ground as our leader. Peter Logue puts a lap on the 33 car of Barklemore. Alan Baker runs up wide there. Ron Pine makes it the advantage of it, takes over second spot. Baker relegated back to third. Then we go to Marshall and Hicks. Hicks fighting it out now with Marshall for a 4th spot. Field putting a lap on Barklemore. Baker gets tied up badly with him, loses a little bit more ground. Consolidates his second position as he heads down the back straight. Gets a bit of a break now on Baker. 3 laps left on the board. Peter Logue, not a worry in the world, out in front at the moment. Sets it up in the push. Bullets out of turn 2. Comes out of there very nicely. Gets a good run down the back straight. Ron Pine still sitting in second. Baker trying desperately to make up ground. White flag out now. Last lap for these guys. Marshall still sitting there in 4th, trying to hold off Gary Hicks. The checkered flag goes out now to Peter Logue, Victorian title holder. Second place will go to the 7 car of Ron Pine. Third over the line will be Baker in the 3 car. Ian Gabby Marshall will finish 4th from Gary Hicks in 5. Then I think we'll go to Drew. Also finishing Cowland, Barklemore. Full field finish this time. Kingsley Jones not in the right position. See them right now. Rodder to lead them through. Peter Aylett also on the front row. Green flag time. Aylett will lead them through. Rick Steen comes through on the 75. Sits there in second now, Rodder back in third. Kingsley Jones looking for a fly around the outside. Also doing well, Wayne Randall. Holds it down low, moves up into third, relegates Rodder back one position. Lucas Roberts midfield, gets it sideways out of 3. Car setting up fairly loose there in midfield. Aylett runs a little high out of 4, keeps it together though, gets the power down to complete another lap. Rick Steen's still sitting there in second. Then we go back to Rodder. Then to Lucas Roberts. Kingsley Jones in the yellow car there, tucked in behind him. Michael Bogorski sitting midfield. Not really been able to come up with the goods so far in this heat. So they go through with 7 laps left on the board. Aylett now, Terry Rickstein with Rodder right on his hammer in the 46. Wayne Randall sitting there in 4th. Then we go back to Roberts. Kingsley Jones, Michael Bogorski. Burton has moved up a position, relegating Burke back to the rear of the field. Aylett leads him down the back straight once again. Rodder looking for any way possible to make up ground on Rickstein. Trying it up around on the high line. Gets a good run down the straight. Pops it down on the inside. Oh, gives Rickstein a bit of a tap for his trouble. Manages to take over second position now. Rodder runs high. Rickstein still holding on to that lower line. Can't make up any real ground on him. Sitting still there in 4th is Wayne Randall. Tucked in behind him is the 54 car of Lucas Roberts. Peter Aylett though, out in front, quite comfortable at the moment in the 9 car. Rodder coming back, I tell you what, he's coming in fits and bursts, making up ground now on Aylett. Setting it right up on the push there, trying for a fast run down the start. Finish straight now, white flag out, 1 lap to go. Rodder comes at Aylett out of turn 2. Tries to get a good run down the back straight. Aylett's covering himself quite well. Rodder, I think, hasn't had the best of runs through turn 3, 4. That'll take any chances of taking out the win, but Aylett takes the checkered flag. Rodder will have to be content with second place points. Terry Rickstein will finish in 3rd from the 54 car of Lucas Roberts. And tucked behind him will be Randall, Kingsley Jones, Purden, and then we go back to Michael Bogorski in the 17 car. 31 Michael Biscoe. Okay, let's see how we go this time. Kane with a brilliant start there. Murphy in the 74 car. Gets a good start. McHugh pushes high in the 23. Then we go back to Kane. Dave Gardner now up into 3rd position. Stephen Dale with some getting it hooked right up out of turn 1. Now up into 5th spot. Murphy from McHugh. Then we go to Dave Gardner, Darren Kane, Stephen Dale in the little V6. We'll just keep an eye on the action up front at the moment as McHugh slips up into the lead from Murphy. Murphy sets it down on the pole line. Dave Gardner elects to go up high and sets it on the board. Slips up into 2nd spot. Down through turn 3. Puts it down on the low line. Inside McHugh now. Now we have an orange light coming on. Looks as though we have debris on the racetrack over in turn 1. Will start in front at the restart. Jamie McHugh. Dave Gardner in the Shane Wilson Pontiac out of 2. Stephen Murphy out of 3. Darren Kane from 4. Stephen Dale 5. Indian file restart. Gardner didn't get the best of starts there. Murphy made up a little bit of ground. Gardner gets clear once again. McHugh still in the lead. Gardner out after him. Murphy with all sorts of trouble with Kane working hard on the back of the car. Distinctive roar of the little V6 Chevrolet in the Nissan ZX of Stephen Dale in the 5th position. He's got all sorts of pressure being put on him by Andrew Keane. Has passed him. Dale bucking Bronco. Comes through turn 4. McHugh now through turn 3, comes out of turn 4, down the start finish straight. Gardner working hard, using a similar line now to the course. Makes up some ground as he comes out of 2. McHugh slid up a little bit towards the boards, had to perhaps lose a little bit of ground. Gardner reading it all the better, sitting it right on the push, right on the hammer on McHugh now. Coming up on some lap traffic, this could play a part in it. Some 3 laps left. Maximum points up for grabs here, or just McHugh and Gardner hammer and tongs at it. Gardner's going to try a different line. Almost runs up the left, the tail of the slower car. Side by side out of 2, there they come now. McHugh just managed to hold out Gardner. Gardner pushing hard. Got the Shane Wilson Chevrolet working overtime under the bonnet. Trying to get that power down the track, trying everything he can to get past onto McHugh. Darren Kane still sitting there for him 3rd. Then we go back to Murphy. Then to the 27 car of Andrew Keane. The checkered flag comes out. The wind will go to McHugh. Hard fought for 2nd. Dave Gardner missed it by about 3/4 of a car length. Then we go to Darren Kane, will get 3rd points. Then to, was it Murphy, I think? Well, what a race between those 2 front runners. We'll just try and get it. Kingsley Jones to start off pole. He will determine the race speed. Likes to bring them around nice and slowly. Starting on the Knoxville white line. Down here on the exit of turn 4. That's it there. Green flag. Racing gets underway. Oh, Jones gives Murphy a little bit of a nudge. Vosbergen makes the most, but trying to slip up on the pole line. Things a little bit greasy and slippery out there. Lucas getting tangled up down the back of the field there with 21 car. Soon recovers. Kingsley Jones now gets down to business. 12 lap duration for the heats. Leads him through for another lap. Murphy's still there in 2nd from Vosbergen. Then the 41 car of Lionel West. Then back to Kim Cottrell, Darren Kane, John Brown, Stephen Dale. Dale running out a little wide there. Lucas Roberts in the 54 down the tail end of the field, as is Michael Biscoe. Vosbergen in 3rd position, working hard to try and get up on the back of Murphy. Vosbergen all the way over from Western Australia. Darren Kane now in between Brown and Cottrell. Down through turn 3 they go. Conditions just a little greasy out there at the moment. Taking a while to buzz the top off the circuit. Brown running out high, right on the back of Darren Kane. Gets a good run out of turn 2 down the back straight. 6 laps left to complete now. Kingsley Jones still leads them through. Smurf Murphy still in 2nd. Then we go back to Bert Vosbergen. In 4th, Lionel West. In the 41 VR Commodore. Then we go back to Cottrell. Cottrell in the Pontiac, been campaigning Super Sedans for a number of years. He's a regular competitor here at the Borderline. Darren Kane sitting in behind Cottrell. Then we go back to John Brown. Brown looking for a way around perhaps on the high line. Stephen Dale, Lucas Roberts tucked behind those. Then we go back to Bisco tailing out the field. Getting down to the business end of this first heat for tonight. Kingsley Jones still managing to hold off Murphy, but Murphy, I'll tell you what, making up good ground. Bert Vosbergen sitting there right, probably within reach too, also in third spot. These three runners, front runners, drawing away from the rest of the field. I tell you what, as the white flag goes out now, this is on for the last lap. Kingsley Jones and Smith fighting it out. Jones just managed to hold out Murphy. Murphy tries to come in on the inside of Jones through turn 4. Can't do so. First heat win for the night too, Kingsley Jones. Second will go to Peter Murphy. Third to Bert Vosbergen. Fourth will go to the 41 of Lionel West, followed over by Kim Cottrell, Darren Kane, John Brown. Barklemore to lead them away. Alan Baker goes with him. Oh, Barklemore missed the start bad. The number 3, Alan Baker, got away a little better. Girdlestone goes with him. Girdlestone in the 21 car from Queensland. Then we go back to the 33 of Tony Barklemore, our pole sitter. Ron Pine working hard down there, trying to find a way around Peter Aylett. Oh, Peter Logan, all sorts of trouble down towards the end of the field. Got balked by Pine. Craig Vosbergen tucked in behind him. Then we go to the 25 of Kevin Purton, and rounding out the field is the Brian Flay Corvette. Alan Baker in the Falcon now, leads them through for another lap. Some 9 laps left on the board. Nick Girdlestone sitting in a second. I think he may be wearing down Baker's lead at this stage. Oh, Ron Pine's got a little bit of debris hanging off the back of the car there, trying to work his way around the inside of Peter Aylett. 33 car out in front of those two. That's Barklemore, our pole sitter. Track starting to come down now. Peter Lowe starting to find his feet. Car pushing slightly into turn 1. Coming up onto the back of Pine. Still only in midfield. Of course, our race leader is the number 3 car there of Alan Baker. Baker from New South Wales. Girdlestone wheeling him in ever so slightly, lap by lap in second position. Girdlestone from Queensland. Then we go back to the 33 from New South Wales, Tony Barklemore. Then he's got Ron Pine from New South Wales also in the 7. Then we go to Peter Aylett's got problems, I think, running high through turn 4. Looks as though he has got problems. He's going to come to a halt. This should bring on the orange. Caution on the racetrack. '86 Camaro of Peter Aylett has come to a grinding halt, bringing on the orange. It was unfortunate not to be able to get to the infield. And behind him is the Nick Girdlestone car. The 15 is a lap down, that's Flay. Then we go back to Barklemore, Ron Pine, Peter Logue, Vosbergen and Bert Purton. Underway once again now. 3 laps on the board. And we've got a little bit of a tangle down the on turn 1, turn 2. Orange light comes on once again. A pick up quickly. Baker up there and about to go for the green flag. Girdlestone right on his tail. 3 laps once more on the board. Barklemore gets past Flay, who is a lap down, does the right thing, moves to the outside and lets the guys go through. Very good racing by Flay. Baker now leads through. Girdlestone coming with him. He knows the checkered flag's only a couple of laps away. He wants those heat points. Tucked right in behind Baker. Baker wouldn't want to make so much as an inch of a mistake, and he will be out of it. Look at the race going back down for third spot. As Barklemore balks Pine, lets Logue get through. Logue having a bit of a rock and a tumble there with Pine. Makes up position now. One lap down. Checkered flag goes out to Baker. Second across the line, taking out second points will be Girdlestone. Barklemore for third. Peter Logue unofficially fourth. Then we go back to Pine. We'll just wait for the official positions there. Peter Logue being brought up to have a little chat with the steward.
Okay, just having a quick chat to Alan Baker. Now, Alan, you had a little bit of interesting luck at practice last night. Tell me what exactly happened to the car.
Dropped a valve in the engine and put a hole in the piston. Sort of destroyed the inside of the engine a little bit.
Well, that would have made a lovely jigsaw puzzle for somebody, but it doesn't exactly go too well when it's under the bonnet. So it's been a rather expensive weekend. The car is now up and running. You've managed to obtain a new engine. Tell us about it.
Well, a fellow competitor from Newcastle, Greg Smith, has bought the car that we're driving at the moment, and he was going to take ownership of it after this weekend. So he was good enough to lend me his engine so I could compete tonight.
Well, I tell you what, you can't get too much more generous than that. And I mean, you've been around racing for a long time. That type of sportsmanship really does, mean a lot, doesn't it?
Certainly does. It really gives you a good feeling inside.
Now, talk about feeling inside. How's the car feeling now, and what do you think your chances are going to be for the weekend?
Car's feeling really good. We're going to have another short practice in a moment, but the short one we had last night, the car felt really good. Sits well on the track, and the engine I've got's just as much power as I had before, so we're going to win number one.
Ah, so it's very confident. I was about to say, who would you pick it, but it sounds like you're going for yourself.
Me.
Well, that's a good positive attitude to have. Good luck for the weekend. I hope you achieve your number one.
Certainly will. Thank you.
Thanks for that.
Made up of Neville Harper and Gavin McEachran, also from Mount Gambier. Next row, Steve Stewart, Jamie McCall. Green flag in the air. Defending champion off pole, Dave Gardner on his outside. Gardner gets a good run, runs a little bit wide there. Steering with the throttle, gets up into the lead. Nicola in second. Gavin McEachran now works his way down on the pole line. Tries to get in underneath Nicola, can't do so. McHugh sitting there in fourth spot. Then we go back to the 22 car of Neville Harper. Gardner looking good in the Shane Wilson Engines Pontiac out in front. Ran a brilliant second last night and towards the end of the night's racing. He's going on with the job at the moment. Looks good out there in front at the moment. Nick Nicola, defending Australia 1 title holder, sitting there in second. He's the one with all the work to do tonight. Didn't have a very good night at all last night. Got a lot of points to catch up with. Gavin McEachran from Mount Gambier, sponsored by Trident Tyres, right here in Mount Gambier, sitting there in third. Tucked in behind him is Jamie McHugh, points leader after last night's racing, sitting there in fourth spot. Bit of a gap back then to the 22 car of Neville Harper. Then 47 tucked in behind him. That's Steve Stewart. Then Ian Gabby Marshall, Peter Drew, and trying to pick up the tail end of the field. That's the 37 car of Mark Weaver. Nicola now starting to make up ground on our race leader, the 44 car of Dave Gardner, right on him now. Debbie Redcliffe about to get a lap put on her by our race leaders. Will she hold him up? Sits up fairly high on the push. Gardner powers down underneath her. Nicola looking for the gap also. Gardner gets through cleanly through turn one. Oh, Nicola gets a bit of a tap there by Debbie Redcliffe, perhaps not realising as she comes through. Gardner, McEachran and McHugh make the most of it. Oh, Nicola runs out wide. McEachran gets through. Mount Gambier drivers 1-2 at the moment with 4 laps left on the board. Gardner in the Shane Wilson's Engines Pontiac leads them through now. 3 laps left to go. McEachran pushing hard there in second. Nicola's got another breath of wind. He's come back at him. Take nothing away from this guy. He is Mr. Desperate. He will get out there and race all that he has to. Jamie McHugh sitting there in 4th. He's not going to let Nicola get away with too much either. Big gap then back to the rest of the field. Leading the next pack is Neville Harper. He's got Stewart tucked in behind him, and Marshall also right in behind Stewart now. White flag goes out. Dave Gardner goes through, still in the lead. 1 lap to go. Gavin McEachran sitting there in 2nd. Mick Nicola in 3rd. McHugh menacingly sitting in 4th. Less than a quarter to go now. Checkered flag goes out to Dave Gardner, the local boy. First season in Super Sedans. Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. He's one of the locals. Gavin McEachran making it 1-2 for Mount Gambier in this particular heat. Gavin McEachran got a heat win last night, so that will do him wonders in the points tally running up to the final. Prior to tonight's racing, Gardner sitting in 9th place, and Gavin McEachran back in 12th spot, so those are Andrew Keane from South Australia out of 4. Burke sitting there in 5th spot. Racing. Grinstead gets a good start, just managed to hold off McAuliffe through turn 1. Gets a little bit of a tap there for McAuliffe, doesn't upset him too much. Rodder moves up into 2nd. McAuliffe doing the high line around the outside, pulls it in nicely, gets a good run out of there, runs side by side with Rodder. Down straight, gives him a bit of a tap, cars going left and right. No real damage done. 27 car coming through there, make up some ground as Keane. Steve Reddycliffe also sitting there midfield, trying to come through and find the gap as Bryans. A little bit of rough and tumble going on down the back there. Reichstein trying to get through on the inside of Bryans. Grinstead leading the way now with some 8.5 laps to go. Rodder going with him quite comfortably. 27 car of Andrew Keane now moving up to 3rd. McAuliffe 4th. Bryans 5th. Reichstein tucked in behind there in the 6th position. Track allowing itself 2 or 3 good race lines at this stage. Some of the guys preferring to run up fairly high. Also been able to tuck in low through the traffic if need be. 6 laps left on the board for our leader now. Tony Grinstead in the 78 car. Grinstead, of course, from Victoria, running the EF Falcon body car. Rodder tucked in behind. Rodder also from Victoria. These two drawing right away from the rest of the field. Andrew Keane in a very lonely 3rd spot. Then we go back to Bryans. 75 of Reichstein. Phil McAuliffe working his way back through the field, just in front of Steve Reddycliffe. Reddycliffe doing some radical line changing at the moment. Almost took out 95 car up there with Burke. 2 laps left on the board. Grinstead getting mixed in with the traffic now, makes his way through Reddycliffe. Rodder looking for a way through also. This is where Rodder perhaps can get the chance to get up onto the tail of Grinstead, but the white flag is out now. McAuliffe just getting a lap put on him. Grinstead gets through cleanly. McAuliffe sits up high, lets Rodder get through on the end. It doesn't make it all that comfortable for him. Checkered flag comes out. Heat 3 win to Tony Grinstead, takes out top points. John Rodder in the 46 will go through for 2nd. Then we'll go back to the 27 car, I think. Just wait for the official places of Andrew Keane, followed through by Gary Bryans, Terry Reichstein. Laps on the board. Heat 5. Noel Reichstein. Oh, gets top and a bit of trying to stack them up down there. Orange light will no doubt come on. Michael Bogorski in the 17 pulls up, tangled up down there. We have Bill Miller, Gary Hicks, and Des Corn. Des Corn was deemed responsible for the accident last night involving himself and Craig Vosbergen. And Callan making up row 2, Corn and Miller from row 3. So we have Callan on the infield. Bogorski will lead them out of turn 1 this time. Noel Reichstein in 2. Hicks looking for a way through back there in 4th position, trying to find a way around the 76 car of Wayne Randall. Randall gets some power down now, comes up on the back of Noel Reichstein, pushes him hard through turn 3. Then we go back to Hicks, Miller and Corn. But it's Bogorski, Michael Bogorski in the 17 from Tasmania out in front. Had a mediocre night last night, but looks as though he's settling in a little bit better this time. Noel Reichstein still managing to hold out Randall in 3rd. Then Gary Hicks gets a good run down the outside. Pushes hard into turn 3. That's how you do it. From position 4 to position 2. The 81 car of Gary Hicks, the big mover in the field now. He's out after our leader Michael Bogorski. 8 laps on the board, got plenty of time to do it. Cush starting to form up there through turn 4, and boys starting to tending to drift up there and use that part of the racetrack. It was certainly the fastest line last night. Hicks now starting to wear down Bogorski's lead. Some 6 laps left to go. Noel Reichstein managing to hold out Randall still. These two have been having this battle right from the start of this heat. Miller a heat winner last night, not being able to find a way around these guys. Then we go back to Corn down the back end of the field. Bogorski now from Tasmania in the immaculately turned out 17 car. It's actually a 96 Camaro. Leads him down the back straight. Hicks still grinding away at that lead. Only 3 laps left to do it. Perhaps Bogorski can hold on to that position. Hicks though fighting desperately though, still making up good ground. But look at the tussle down here for 3rd. Noel Reichstein battling it out. Randall tucked in behind him. Des Corn has managed to get up past Miller. They're having their own battle, but looking it up the front now. Bogorski still managing to keep Hicks at bay. Hicks within a car length now. White flag out. Oh, this is going to be a good finish for this heat now. Last lap time. Hicks side by side with Bogorski as they head out of turn 2. Put it down the back straight. Bogorski up on the high line. Then to turn 3. Hicks puts the power down, trying to run up. Can't do so. Bogorski from Tasmania takes a heat win. First heat win for him for the weekend, running up to the title later on tonight. He needs those points. Gary Hicks finishing in 2nd. Just wait to see who was officially 3rd, and 4th was Noel Reichstein and Randall, but